Hi, this is Rob Sheen with the Source Conference, and I'm here with Amirali Sanatinia, who is a computer science PhD candidate at Northeastern University, and he's going to be speaking at the Source Mesa Phoenix Conference on February 28th and March 1st. And his talk is called Common Crypto Pitfalls. So we actually have somebody who knows about cryptography coming to talk to us about crypto. So we're really excited about that. So welcome to the show, Amirali.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So um, I was actually really interested when I saw the abstract because I've definitely over the years of dealing with developers and architects and different kinds of systems, seeing all kinds of ways, the laundry list of ways that people can screw up crypto. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your talk and some of the just high level some of the things that you address.
Sure. So in this talk, we're going to look at some of the most common pitfalls and problems that people usually encounter when using cryptography. Things such as, for example, in their symmetric cryptography, when they use the wrong mode of operation, to more subtle things in their implementation and even touch a little bit on the side channel attacks. So that would be the basic idea would be to look at the real world examples of programs that are being widely used by people around the world, how they made mistakes in their cryptography that ultimately some of them led to compromise of the systems.
Right. So what I'm kind of getting from just what you said so far and what I've seen in the real world is it's not just a matter of people using the wrong algorithms or making their own stuff up, which is obviously a big problem. But even when they're using quote unquote the industry standard solutions, they can still make mistakes, right?
Right, because the cryptography itself relies on some of the details in mathematics that there are certain assumptions that if you don't abide by them, even though if you use a secure algorithm, for example, if you use AES in a CBC mode and, for example, you use wrong IDs or you reuse certain keys there, it would lead to attacks. It's not only using the broken algorithms such as this that can cause problems. Even using something as secure as AES, you can still use it the wrong way. For example, you can shoot yourself even with the things that are correct.
Right. So one of the themes that's come up in a lot of these conversations with some of the speakers is, in large organizations where you have a lot of resources to throw at the problem, you can just hire more people that, go find some PhD in crypto or hire some consultants or whatever else. But the challenge seems to really come up with small and medium-sized organizations that maybe don't have the resources. What are those folks supposed to do to be able to implement crypto properly without having to incur massive expense? Is there any way they can do that?
So I think these days, certainly most program languages, they have secure and sound cryptography as part of their standard libraries, and there are a lot of good, reliable third-party libraries. One of the basic problems that we have in small or even medium-sized corporations is maybe the lack of the basic introduction to foundations of cryptography. That people, for example, they know they need to use AES, but for example, don't know some of the details that have to get right to make it work correctly. And those are the things that we can address, like some basic introduction, that what are the things that you should consider or some of the pitfalls that you should avoid. And by following these simple recipes, you would be able to secure yourself.
Got it. So one of the funny things I've seen over the years is, in the course of doing things like architecture and design reviews and whatnot, talking to people and finding out kind of where the bodies are buried, so to speak, and realizing that, they actually implemented, some crazy, ROT13 algorithm that they made up, or they're XORing against some large string. So often the mindset is, if nobody else knows what I did, how can anybody figure this out? So what are some of your thoughts on people rolling their own crypto and, some of the repercussions of that?
I think that's generally a very bad idea because you have people who being experts in the field of cryptography, they designed the system, and for many years, other experts have been digging at it and trying to find exploits and problems with that. And at the end, for example, they came up with a standardized encryption algorithm that is we have certain amount of trust in it that is secure. Even with many of these secure cryptography algorithms, they weren't as secure at their first design. So even the experts got it not completely right at the first design. Then we wouldn't be able to expect ourselves to get it right at the first iteration. That's why generally it's not advised to roll your own crypto, even if you have a PhD, for example, in cryptography.
Got it. So you mentioned something in your abstract that I found interesting, which is something I actually agree with, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. That bad crypto is actually worse than no crypto. So I'm kind of curious to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Certainly. So it's when you think something is secure, you start to be more relaxed about it. You wouldn't care enough because you think, okay, I secure this, they have this cryptography. Then your threat model changes a little bit. A lot of things that you would consider your threat model without cryptography, now you're not going to consider them. So that's why when you have a wrong notion of trust, it can be even worse. For example, if you don't have a lock on your door, you would be more careful about not telling people that you're not at home. But if you have a lock that opens very easily, but you don't know that, you might feel, okay, my house is secured. And if I tell people that I'm out of house, I'm out of my house, no one can steal me. So that's the thing that we want to avoid, having this wrong feeling of security.
Yeah, it's definitely that's my thought too. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. The false sense of security that you get from thinking that you're secure, but you're really not. Because I've definitely seen people they'll pack a bunch of data into a field and they'll send it down to a browser, and because they've obfuscated it in some way, they're like, oh, we're good, nobody can see this. It's like, well, just because you can't break it doesn't mean anybody else can't too. So that's always an interesting way to look at it. So cool. Awesome. Well, I definitely look forward to continuing this conversation with you at the Source Conference. And again, that's on February 28th and March 1st in Mesa in Arizona. And if you're interested in crypto or want to hear some more about crypto pitfalls, definitely stop by the conference and have a conversation with Amirali.
Thanks again for call today and the opportunity to speak at Mesa at Source Conference. Really looking forward to that.
Great. Awesome. Well, I'll see you there, and this will be a great time. So it's going to be a good event. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be fun. So talk to you soon.
Great. Looking forward to it. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.